Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In our previous video, we have seen use of switch cases, how to use switch case, and we have also seen jump statement, for example, break, how to use break inside switch cases. In today's video, we will be starting a new topic that is loops and coming back to remaining jump statement, we will see how to use this jump statement inside loops. Usually jump statements are not used alone. They are either used inside switch cases or inside loops. So we will be seeing these remaining ones inside loops. So let's get started. What is a loop? In general, if you think a loop is something that takes place again and again. If something is repeating again and again, it is called a loop. So for example, if you play a music video and you set it on loop, the music video will play again and again. So this is called looping. Similar to that, if you want to execute a piece of code again and again in Java, you can go for Java loops. So here we can see loops allows us to run set of instructions multiple times based on condition. So based on certain condition, you can execute certain piece of code again and again. So there are three primary loops in Java. There is for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So these are three types of loops available in Java. Also, there is one more loop which is called as enhanced loop, which we will be seeing once we study array. So as of now, we will just look at these three basic loops in Java. That is for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So let's open our IntelliJ and directly we will see there how these loops work. I have opened my IntelliJ IDEA and I have created a new class called loops demo, and inside this loops demo I have created main method. Now suppose we have to print hello 10 times. So how I can do that? So I can simply go and I can write print statement, and inside this print statement I can print hello. So if I want to print it 10 times, I can just print it 10 times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, if I will execute this, I will get hello printed 10 times. So yeah, we can see hello is printed 10 times. If we look at this code, what we are doing here, we are repeating the same sentence again and again, which is not a good way of writing code. In programming, if you are repeating something again and again, that is not a good code. You should find a way to reduce redundancy, and you should not be repeating your code again and again. Here we are writing hello only 10 times. What will happen if you have to print it 1000 times? You can't go ahead and print the statement 1000 times. So you have to find a way in which you can avoid writing the statement again and again. So in this case, we can go for loops. So how we can make use of loops to avoid repeating this statement again and again, we will see now. First, we will see for loop, which we have seen. First is for loop, so we will see example with for loop. So I will just remove the statements and we will study for loop first, and then we will see how we can make use of for loop to print the same statement 10 times. So let's see what are for loops first. So I will comment and I will write the syntax of for loop and I will try to explain you how for loop works. So the syntax of for loop is for opening brackets, then it has three arguments. First is initialization, second one is condition, and third one is updation. So we will see each of these terms one by one, and opening and closing curly bracket. So this is the syntax for loop. Now what is initialization, condition, and updation? These three things are important. So what is initialization? I asked you to print hello 10 times. I want you to start from 1. I will write as int I equal to 1. So this is my initial value. I have to start from here. So that is called initialization, where you want your loop to start from. So I want it to start from 1. So this is my initialization value. Now I want to start from 1 and I want to go till 10. So my condition will be run this loop till the value reaches to 10. So once the value reaches to 10, I want the loop to start. So this is my condition. Initialization is initial value from where you want to start the loop. I want to start the loop from 1 and I want to stop the loop when the value of I reaches 10. So I have written my condition. Now the third argument is updation. Updation means Now you have to increase this value, right? If you are not increasing this value, this will remain 1. So how it will reach till 10 if you are not increasing? I can either increment or decrement my initialized value. So I want my value to increase by 1. I can simply write I plus plus. We already know what is the meaning of plus plus. It will take I and it will add 1 to that value. I plus plus means it will become I equal to I plus 1. We can either increment or decrement the value in this updation section. I plus plus means it will take I and it will increase the value by 1. So that is called I plus 1. Now we have seen all the three arguments which is needed for loop. First is initialization. So I want to start from 1. I want to go to 10. So this is my condition till which my loop will run. And I plus plus, I want to increase this number by 1. So after 1 it will become 2, then it will become 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Till 10 this loop will execute. After 10 it will become 11. It will check condition. Okay, I is 11, which is less than equal to 10. No, it is not less than or equal to 10. So this condition has become false. Now this loop will stop executing. This is how for loop works. It will be more clear once we run it. So let's write our code for printing hello 10 times. So I will write for, I want to start from int I equal to 1. So sorry, int I equal to 1. So this is my initialization value. I want to run from 1. My condition is I want to run this loop till value of I is less than equal to 10. Once this value reaches greater than 10, I will stop the loop. And I want to increment i's value by 1. This is my for loop. Now the for loop is ready. Inside this, I can just simply print hello. So you can see the code has reduced so much. It has just become 3 lines of code. Before it, we were writing same statement 10 times. Now you have just written the whole code in just 3 statements or 3 lines. Now, how the code will get executed? First, JVM will come. JVM means Java Virtual Machine, which will execute this code. It will initialize variable I of integer type with 1. Initialization takes place only once. So this block of code, this argument or this initialization will run only once. So after initialization is done, this block of code will not execute again. Now it will check condition. Is 1 less than equal to 10? Yes, 1 is less than 10. Condition satisfied. So it will enter into the loop and it will execute this statement. Now it will go for updation parameter. It won't go for initialization. Initialization will happen only once at the start of the loop. So I plus plus. So one's value will become 2 now. Again, condition will be checked. 2 less than equal to 10. Yes, it is true. Execute the loop. Again, updation parameter will be executed. So I plus plus means 2 will become 3 now. Again, condition will be checked. 3 less than equal to 10. Yes, execute the loop. Again, it will become 4. Same loop will execute. 5 loop will execute. It will go on till the value becomes 10. Now again 10. 10 less than equal to 10. Yes, 10 is equal to 10. So again this loop will be executed. Now this value will become 11. Again the condition will be checked. 11 less than equal to 10. No, 11 is not less than or equal to 10. This is the exit condition. So this value will become false now. This condition has become false. So the loop will stop here because the condition is not satisfied. So loop will stop here at this point. So if I run this code, you can see the same thing will happen. So yeah, we can see the hello statement is printed 10 times. So this has become so short and concise. Instead of writing this statement 10 times, this has become really short and concise code. So what is the advantage? Now if you want to print this statement 1000 times, you can simply write 1000 here. And if you run this code, hello will be printed 1000 times. So this is the advantage of using for loop or any kind of loop. You can do this thing using while loop or do while loop as well. This is the advantage of using loops. Now I will make it 10 again. So I can print this hello 10 times. And if you want to see the value of I, you can simply add I as well. So you can see the value of I. Now if I run this code, you can see the value of I as well. So here you can see one hello 1 2 3 4 till 10 it got printed. And once the value becomes 11, it will exit. Now instead of writing I plus plus, you can write I equal to I plus 1 as well. It will work in the same way. So you can see it works in the same way. Now I want to increment the value by 2. I don't want to increment value by 1. So I can add I equal to I plus 2. So value now will start from 1. It will check the condition. 1 is less than equal to 10. It will become true. True means execute the loop. After execution, it will go to updation. Now I equal to I plus 2. So from 1, it will become 3. Sorry, 3. Now again 3 will be checked. 3 less than equal to 10. Execute the loop. Again it will go to updation. After 3, it will become 5. Again same loop will execute. Again it will become 7. After that, again the loop will execute 9. Again loop will execute 11. Now this time 11 less than equal to 10, condition will become false. Loop will stop. So that is how you can. So you can see for 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, it got executed only 5 times. So that is how you can manipulate the number of times you want to execute this loop. If I make it 3, it will execute 3 times. Okay, it executed 4 times for 1, 4, 7, and 10. So this is how you can manipulate how many times you want to execute the loop. Or you can directly add like I plus 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 means it will increment by 1. Or you want to execute 5 times, just put 5 and run the code. So you can see it got executed 5 times. So I hope it is clear how for loop works. Now we will write a simple code for printing table of 2. So first I will copy the same for loop and I will write it again and I will comment the above code. So I have to write table for 2. So how I can write 2 ones are 2. So I will just write 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. So I just have to multiply this I with 2. And if I multiply this I with 2, I will get table for 2. So I can write something like this. 2 ones equal to, I need to multiply this I with 2. So I multiplied by 2. So you can see 2 ones equal to 2. 2 twos equal to 4. So this I will be 2. In the second iteration, it will multiply by 2. So we will get 4. In the third iteration, this I will be 3 and it will become 3 into 2 means 6. So if I run this code, it will be more easier to understand. So here you can see 2 ones equal to 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6. So every time we are taking this I, we are multiplying it with 2. So we are getting the table for 2. I can run this iteration 10 times. So I can get it till 2 tens are 20. So you can see now if you want to print any other table, you can just replace this I multiplied by 3. So we will get table for 3. You need to change here as well. So we can print any table we want. So this is one of very simple example using for loop. I will make it 2 again. So this is one example using for loop. Now let's go ahead and see another example. I will comment this piece of code. So you have got a task that every day in a week. So for every day in a week, you have to print hello 10 times. So you have to go ahead and for each day in a week, that is 7 days, all 7 days you have to print hello 10 times. So how you can achieve this? First we will go ahead and try to print the number of day. It will start from 1 and it will go till 7 less than equal to 7. Sorry, int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 7. So there are 7 days. So I want the loop to run 7 times. I plus plus increment by 1. So my for loop is ready. Let's print day number. So day number and just add I. If we'll run this code, we got day number 1, 2, 3 till 7. Now for each day, I have to print hello 10 times. How I can achieve this? you can go ahead and create another for loop. Inside this loop, you can create another for loop. So this is called nested looping. So I can go ahead and create another integer. This time I will take j because you cannot take I. You have already taken I outside. So you have to take another variable. Name cannot be same. So int j I have taken this time j. And I want to start from 1. How many times I have to run? Till 10 times. J less than equal to 10. And I want to increment it by 1. So what I have done, I have simply created another for loop inside this outer for loop. So this is called outer for loop. This will be inner for loop. How the execution will work now? It will start from here. Initialization will take place. I will become 1. Condition will be checked. 1 is less than equal to 7. Yes, true. So this will become true. Now after this condition is satisfied, it will come inside this loop. This statement will be executed. Day number equal to 1. After this statement, now this for loop will execute. So it will start from j equal to 1 to 10. So this for loop will execute 10 times. After the execution is complete, then I will become 2. Once it has become 2, again the condition will be checked. 2 less than equal to 7? Yes. Now it will enter again into this loop. This statement will be executed day number equal to 2. Now again this for loop will be executed from 1 to 10. After this execution is completed, again I will become 3. Now again the condition will be checked. 3 less than equal to 7? True. Again it will enter into this outer loop. Print statement will be executed for day 3. Again, this for loop, entire for loop from 1 to 10 will be executed for day 3. So this is how the execution will carry on until this has become 8. So once this has become 8, again this will be checked. 8 less than equal to 7? No. So this will become false. And the flow of execution will be stopped. This is how nested loop works. So we have printed day number from 1 to 7, and for each day I want to execute this loop 10 times. I can simply go ahead and print hello. I will just put some space so that it will be visible. If I run this loop, I can see. So you can see day 1 hello got printed 10 times. Again day 2 hello got printed 10 times. So it has happened till day number 7. It got printed 10 times. If you want the number, you can print the number as well. Plus j. You can see number as well. Hello 1, it got printed 10 times. Hello 2 got printed 10 times. So this is how you can make use of nested loops. I hope this is clear how this is working. For each day you have to print hello 10 times. So outer loop is for each day and inner loop is for printing 10 times. So this was all about nested loop. Now we will go ahead and see use of jump statement inside loops. So we saw this jump statements. We saw use of break inside switch cases. Now we will see use of break, continue, and return inside loops. So let's go ahead. I will just comment this piece of code and let's print simple hello for 10 times. I equal to 0, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. I am simply printing hello 10 times. So hello plus I. So this is my code to print hello 10 times. I'm starting from, okay, I've started from 0 and I'm printing till 10. So this is almost 11 times. Let's make it 1. Now I have printed it 10 times. Now I want to break this loop once the value of I is equal to 5. I want to come out of this loop. So what I can do, I can just print if I equal to 5 break. So what I am doing here, if the value of I becomes 5, I don't want the loop to execute further. I want to jump out of the loop. So I have used the jump statement break. How the execution will work now? It will start from here. Value I will become I equal to 1. Initialization will happen. After that, condition will be checked. 1 less than equal to 10. Yes, it will enter into this block. If I equal to 5, no. I is equal to 1. This will become false. This block will not be executed and hello 1 will be printed. Again, after printing hello 1, this will flow of execution will go to this updation argument. I will become 2 now. Again 2 will be checked. 2 less than equal to 10. Yes, true. So again this block will get executed. If statement will be checked, 2 equal to 5. No, false. So again this statement will be printed. Again this loop will work till the value becomes 5. Now the value of I has become 5. 5 less than equal to 10. Yes. So this will be true. It will enter into this loop. Now 5 equal to 5. True. This value will become true. Once the value is true, this block will get executed. It will see break. It will come out of this loop. This statement will not be executed further and the loop will break. So if I run this code, I should see hello only 4 times. I hope you are getting how it is working. So once the value becomes 5, it will be checked I equal to 5. Yes, it has become 5. So this if block will get executed and it will see break statement, it will break the loop and it will come out of the loop. That's why we are getting hello 4 times. This is how break statement works. It is similar to switch. In switch also we saw once the break is applied, the execution will jump out of the switch case. Similarly, once the break is applied, it will come out of the loop. We have seen how break statement works. Now we will see what is the use of continue statement inside loops. So if I replace this break with continue, what will happen? Continue is used to skip one particular iteration. So what I am telling here, if I equal to 5, continue means I am telling if the value of I is 5, just skip this iteration and go ahead. So what will happen? It will start from I equal to 1. It will check 1 less than equal to 10. It will enter this loop. It will execute 1 not equal to 5. So this will become false. This block will not be executed and it will print hello 1. Once the value of I is 5, suppose now I has become 5. 5 less than equal to 10, yes, true. It will enter into this loop. Now it will check 5 equal to 5, yes. This will become true. If this will become true, it will enter into the if block. If block says continue. So it will not execute further. It will stop here. It will not execute this statement. It will stop here and it will just go to the next iteration. Continue means skip the current iteration and go ahead. So it will not execute this line. It will simply go ahead and it will increment the value to 6. Now, once it has become 6, again the normal flow will start. 6 less than equal to 10. Okay, it will enter into this block. 6 equal to 5. No, false. And this statement will get printed. So continue is used to skip a particular iteration. If I run this code, see here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Only I equal to 5 is skipped and rest all the iterations are completed successfully. So only hello 5 is not printed because continue will tell the execution flow to skip the current iteration and go ahead and continue with further iteration. So that is the use of continuous jump statement. So I hope it is clear. Now, what is the use of return? So this is the third jump statement. So if I use return over here, what will happen? Return is used to exit the entire method. I'm not talking about this loop. I'm talking about the entire method. So the method starts from here, main method starts from here, and it ends till here. So if you are using return, it will exit that entire method. So let's see an example. Here we are telling if I equal to 5, then return. So when the value of I becomes 5, it will exit this loop and it will exit this method as well. It will not execute once the value reaches equal to 5. It will exit out of that method. What it means, if I run this code, you can see hello is printed 4 times. Now you must be confused like what is the difference between break and return? In both the cases, we got hello printed 4 times. So what is the main difference between break and return? So break is used to exit this for loop only. If we have anything written outside this for loop, for example, loop execution completed. So if you run this and loop execution completed and if we have break over here, so it will just jump out of this for loop and it will print this statement because this statement is outside this for loop and inside this method, inside this main method. So this main method starts from here, it ends till here. So we have written this loop execution completed statement inside the method outside this for loop. So if I run this code, I can see hello printed 4 times and then break statement will execute. The execution flow will jump out of this for loop and this statement will get executed. Okay. Now what will happen if I replace this break with return? Now if I execute this, you can see hello is printed 4 times. It has executed the entire method. It did not print this statement as well. It came out of the entire method. So this complete method, it exited and we did not see anything printed like loop execution completed. So that is the difference between return and break. I hope it is clear. It is making sense. Now let's see one more example so it will be more clear. Let's take example for nested loops. I will comment this piece of code and we will copy our nested loop example. So this is our example for nested loop and I will just uncomment this. So here we are printing hello 10 times for each day. So let's run this and see. So you can see for each day in week we are printing hello 10 times. Now what I have to do, if my number of day is 3, I have to print hello only 5 times. So that is my requirement. If the day number is 3, I want to print hello only 5 times. So I can go ahead and I can write if I equal to 3, I represents number of days. So I equal to 3 and j equal to 5, I will break. What I am doing here, if my number of days is 3 and j count has become 5, just break. So what will happen? For rest of the day, it will print as it is. Once the day number is 3, it will come inside this loop. It will start from 1 and it will start printing this statement. It will check this statement I equal to 3 and j equal to 5. Once the value of j becomes 5, this will become true and this if block will get executed and break will be executed and this for loop will be skipped and again it will come to outer loop and the value of I will become 4 and after that it will execute as it is. So I am just skipping when this condition is satisfied. I want to break when this condition is satisfied, then only I want to break the loop. So if I execute this, you can see for rest of the day, it is printing as it is. Day number 1, it will print 10 times. Day number 2, it will print 10 times. Day number 3, it will print only 5 times. Because I have given condition, if I is equal to 3 and j equal to 5, break. So once the break is applied, this loop will be skipped and it will come to outer loop. And again, the normal flow of execution will start. So that is use of break statement. Now, what will happen if I use return instead of break? If we are using break, only this loop is getting terminated. The current executing loop will get terminated. So, in this case, only the inner loop is getting terminated. And once it will come out of this inner loop, it will normally execute the outer loop. But what will happen if I use return over here? As I said, return is used to exit a method. So it will exit the entire method, this entire method. So let's see what will happen. See, you can see it started from day 1, printed hello 10 times, day 2, printed hello 10 times, day 3, printed hello till 5. This condition got satisfied. I equal to 3, j equal to 5. This became true. It encountered a return statement. It exited the entire method. You can see it exited the entire method. Even this statement did not get executed. So that is the difference between break and return statements. I hope it is clear how break and return execute and what is the difference between break and return. Break is used to exit current executing loop. Return is used to exit entire method and continue is used to skip the current executing iteration. So it will just skip the current executing iteration. So for example, if I use if I equal to 1, continue. So for I equal to 1, it will print the statement. It will encounter, okay, 1 equal to 1, this will become true. It will come into this if block. It will see continue. It will not execute the remaining for loop. It will directly move to iteration number 2. So this is the use of continue. If I run this, you can see day number 1, it encountered continue, it skipped the entire iteration and it moved to day number 2. So that is the difference between continue, break and return. I hope it is making sense. So if you have any doubt, you can mention it in comment section as well. Now let's go ahead and see one last example for loop. And it is kind of a tricky question which is asked in the interviews. I will just comment this for loop, and we will see one last for loop example. So let me write a for loop. Same for loop for printing hello 10 times. So I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. So I have written the code to print hello 10 times. Now the question is it mandatory to give this arguments, initialization, condition and updation arguments? So in interview they might ask you, is it mandatory to give these arguments? So the answer is it is not mandatory. You can still run this code after removing this argument. So if I remove this argument, this is still a valid piece of code. Only thing is you have to give the semicolon. So this still is a valid piece of code, and if you will execute this code, it will go into an infinite loop. So what is an infinite loop? It means this loop will continue to execute for infinite number of times until you manually go ahead and stop it, or the system goes out of memory, or the system crashes. Till then it will continue to execute for infinite number of times. So if I run this code, I can see, okay, we made some mistake. It is saying Java unreachable statement because since this will go for infinite number of times, this statement will never execute. So this becomes unreachable. So I have to remove this. Now if I run this code, you can see hello is getting keep on executing. It will keep on executing. You can see it's keep on executing. So this is an example of infinite loop, and I have to go ahead and manually stop it. So once I click on this red button, this flow of execution will stop. This is an example of infinite loop, and you have to make sure to avoid infinite loops. It is very important to avoid infinite loops because it creates memory issues, or your system will crash if you are not handling these kind of issues. You have to keep in mind that infinite loops are not bad for your application. So as a Java developer, you have to make sure that the condition or the exit condition you are giving here does not create an infinite loop. For example, if we take this loop, let me copy this simple loop, this one for printing hello. We will copy here, and I will comment this infinite loop. And if I uncomment this piece of code, and if we see, look at this code, here the exit condition is proper because I less than equal to 5. So ultimately I value of I will become 5, and this exit condition will get satisfied, and this flow of execution for this loop will terminate. But what will happen if I am giving true here? So this has become an infinite loop. No matter what, this condition will be true always, and if you will run this code, it will keep on executing. See, it keeps on executing. I will have to manually terminate this. So this is also an example of infinite loop because this condition will always remain true, and there is no way to make this false. So as a developer, you have to make sure that the exit condition that you are giving is proper, and it will result in proper termination of the loop to avoid any memory issue or system crashes. So that was all about for loop, and next we will move on and we will see what are while loops. So let me just go ahead and comment this piece of code, and I will write comment as while loops, and we will see syntax for while loops. So the syntax for while loop is while, opening the braces, inside braces there will be condition, close the braces, and opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket. So this is the syntax for while loops. So if we look at while loop, it looks different from for loop, which has initialization, condition, and updation. But if we look at while loop, it only has condition as argument. But in case of while loop, initialization is done outside the loop. So if you want to initialize, you usually initialization is done outside the while loop, and updation is done inside the while loop. So now if you compare while loop with for loop, in for loop we have three arguments: initialization, condition, updation. All three are taken as argument inside this for loop braces. But in case of while loop, only condition is taken as argument. Initialization is usually done outside the while loop, and updation is done inside the while loop. So let's see one example so that it will be more clear. So for example, I want to take the same example of printing hello 10 times. So in this case, let's take a variable, initial variable. We are doing initialization. So this is our initialization. Int I equal to 1. So I have to start from 1. Now condition will be inside while loop. So while loop, I have to run this loop I less than equal to 10. Till this condition is true, this loop will continue to run. So I will print hello. Now initialization is done. We have written the condition as well. Now you have to update this variable. So updation phase. So we have to do updation. So I equal to I plus 1. Here we are updating the variable I. Now if we will run this loop, what will happen? I will start from 1. It will check 1 is less than equal to 10. Yes, so this will become true. This statement will get printed. Then I will be updated. I will become I plus 1. So this will become now 2. Again, this will be checked 2 less than equal to 10. Yes, true. Again, this loop will continue to run. So now if I run this loop, I will get the same output. So yeah, you can see hello is printed 10 times. You can also print how many times it is printed by just append it. Append I, and if we run this while loop, we will get hello printed 10 times. So this is how you can use while loop. In while loop, initialization is usually done outside the while loop. It takes argument as a condition and updation is done inside while loop. So this is how while loop works. This while loop will continue to work till this condition is satisfied. If this condition becomes false, this loop execution will stop. Now you must be wondering like same thing we can achieve with for loop, then why should we use while loop or vice versa? If we can achieve the same thing with while loop, then why should we go for loop? Yes, in case of while loop and for loop, whatever you can do with for loop can be achieved with while loop and vice versa. But there are specific scenarios in which you have to go for while loop and it is more easier to use while loop, and there are scenarios in which it is more easier to use for loop. What are those scenarios? Suppose you know the number of iterations you have to perform. In this case, I know I have to perform 10 iterations. I want this loop to run 10 times. So in that case, you can go for loop. So if you know the number of iterations, you should go with for loop. So if we see printing hello 10 times, here we know we have to run this loop for 10 times. In this case, usually you should go with for loop. But if you have no idea how many times my loop will get executed, then in that case, you should always go with while loops. So I will just copy this comment and I will mention here, if you don't know the number of iterations, you should go with while loop. So what is the meaning of don't know the number of iterations? So let's see this with an example. So I will comment this piece of code and we will see another example where we are not aware how many times the loop should run. We are not sure. So let's see one example of that kind. Suppose I have to write a code in which I will keep flipping the coin until I get heads 5 times. So if you're flipping a coin, the possible outcomes are heads and tails. I have to keep flipping the coin until I get heads 5 times. So this is my code. Keep flipping the coin until we get heads 5 times. So we are not sure how many times we have to flip the coin. So this is a scenario in which you can make use of while loop where we are not sure how much time or how many times I have to flip the coin to get heads 5 times. So let's start writing our code. So for example, I will take a variable heads count. So this is my variable and I will initialize it with 0. So initialization is done. Now I will write the condition heads count is less than equal to 5. I want to keep running this loop until head count is less than or equal to 5. Now our condition is also complete. Initialization done, condition is done. Now let's simulate coin flipping. How can we simulate flipping a coin in our code? To simulate coin flipping, we can make use of random class in Java. What is random class? Random class is used to generate random values. So I can make use of random dot next boolean. So we have not studied class yet, but it's just a mechanism or a tool to generate random values inside Java. So random dot next boolean will return true or false. It can either return true or it can either return false. Just like flipping a coin, you can either get heads or tails. Similarly, if we use this method, we can either get true or false. So just we can assign whatever this method will return. I will assign that value inside variable boolean is heads. Why I am taking is heads? Because I am only bothered about true values. I don't care about false values because my true is equal to heads. If it will return true, I will consider it is heads. If it will return false, I will consider it is tails. Now I have to check if is heads equal to true, then what I will do, I will increase the count. Heads count equal to heads count plus 1. So here what I have done, if I am getting true value, that means I am getting heads. So if I am getting heads, I have to increase this count by 1. So if the value is true, I will increase the count with 1. So I am considering it as 1 heads. You can also avoid writing this because this itself is a boolean value. So you can directly use it here. Now you can print flipping the coin. So my code is ready. So initialization is done, condition is also done, and updation is also done. So this is my updation. Now let's run this code and see how many times this loop gets executed. We are not sure how many times this loop will run because this method will return true false randomly. So let's see. Here you can see it got executed for few number of times. Let's make create a counter variable so that we can see how many times the loop is getting executed. I will keep this counter as 0 and I will increase this count with each loop. With each loop execution, I am increasing the value with 1. You can also write like something like this by using unary operator. So we have seen what a unary operator, and we can simply use this value here. So now we can see how many times the loop is getting executed. If I run, see this time it got executed 12 times. So after flipping the coin 12 times, we are getting heads for 5 number of times. Let's run this again. This time it took 15 iterations. So I have to flip the coin 15 times to get heads 5 times. If I run it again, so this time it took only 8 flips to get 5 heads. I run this again. This time it took 13 flips. So you can see in which scenario we can go for while loop. In this scenario, we don't know how many times the loop should execute. So in this case, we went for while loop. So that is the difference between for loop and while loop. If you know the number of iterations, you have to go for in our for loop example, we knew we have to run it for 10 times. We have to run this at suppose this iteration we have to run for 5 times, this iteration we have to run for 10 times. So we went for loop. But in case of while loop, if you don't know the number of iterations, you can go for while loop. Can we write this program with for loop? Absolutely yes. We can also write this program using for loop, but the code will be more complicated and it will not be easier to read if we are doing the same logic with for loop. So we should always go for while loop if we are not knowing the exact number of iterations we have to go for. So that was the difference between for loop and while loop. Now, while using while loop as well, you have to avoid infinite loops. Suppose if you forget to update this head count, this loop will go into infinite loop, and you have to avoid such conditions because we are not updating this head count will always remain 0 and 0 will always remain less than equal to 5 and this condition will be true always. So this condition will always be true and this loop will go into infinite loop and it will never stop. So if I run this, see it will keep on running and it will never stop and we will have to stop it manually. So you have to take care what condition you are giving, and there should be a scenario in which this condition will turn into false and this loop will stop its execution. So with while loop also you have to take care for infinite loops. Now our last topic is do while loop. So let's write the syntax for do while loop and how it works. We will see do while. Now the syntax for do while loop is do. You have to do something, means you have to write your logic in this do segment, and you will get while opening braces, closing braces. Inside this braces, we have to give our condition. So it is similar to while loop. It has a condition and it has a body for do. And similar to while loop, initialization will take place outside the loop, and updation will take place inside do while loop's body. Now let's see how it works. Let's write code for this. Suppose I want to take the same example. Int I equal to 0. I have to print hello 10 times. Do, I want to write my logic inside this do segment or do block. Hello. Now inside this, I have written my logic. Now you have to write your condition inside this while. So my condition is I less than equal to 10. We have given initialization, we have given condition, updation is pending. So we have to update it. I equal to I plus 1. So we have given all the three parameters which are required. Initialization done, condition is also done, updation is also done. So if I run this, I think it's giving error, so I think semicolon is missing. Let's run this, and sorry, we have to comment this piece of code, otherwise it will keep on printing the infinite loop. So now let's run this code. Yeah, you can see hello got printed 10 times. Let's print the value of I as well so that we know how many times hello is getting printed. Plus I. So if we run this, see hello is getting printed. Let's start it from 1. So yeah, perfect. Hello is getting printed 10 times. Now again you must be wondering what is the difference between while and do while loop. We can do the same thing with while loop as well. Then why we should go for do while loop? Only the syntax or style has changed. Rest everything it is doing similar to while loop. Then what is the difference? So the main difference is this do block will get executed first, no matter the condition is getting satisfied or not. No matter what, do while loop will always execute for one iteration. No matter what, whether the condition is satisfied or not, do while will always execute for one time. So what it means? Suppose here I am starting with 1. What will happen if I start with 50? Obviously, 50, this condition 50 less than equal to 10. This is false. 50 is greater than 10. So this condition is false. Now if I run this loop, still this loop will execute for one time. You can see hello 50. It executed for first iteration. Then the condition is checked. 50 less than equal to 10, false. The condition has become false. The loop execution will be terminated. This is the main difference between do while loop and other loops. Do while loop will always execute for one iteration. If we are doing the same thing with while loop or for loop, if the condition is not getting satisfied, it will not even run for single iteration. But in case of do while loop, it will always execute for at least one iteration. So you have to choose do while loop if you want your code or if you want your logic to execute at least once. In that case, you can go for do while loop. So I hope it is making sense. What is the difference between do while loop and other two loops? That is for loop and while loop. You have to go for do while loop if you want your code logic to execute at least once, even if the condition is not satisfied. Now let's see an example for do while loop in which first I will comment this piece of code. We will write a code in which we will ask user to enter his or her password, and if the password is correct we will grant the access. If the password is incorrect we will keep on asking the correct password, and we will ask the user to try again. So write a code in which ask password from user, and if the password is incorrect, ask the user to retry. So this is the logic which we have to implement using do while loop. So let's start writing the code. Suppose the password for user is correct password. Let's take a variable password at the rate 123. So this is the correct password. For example, this is the password set by user, and we will take another variable entered password. In this variable, we will store whatever the password user is entering. Now, to take input from user, we have to use another class called scanner. So just like a random class, this is another class which we can use to take input from user. So this is just another tool. Don't focus on the syntax now. I will explain it in detail once we study classes. As of now, you can consider this as a tool for taking input from user, similar to random class which we used to generate random values. This is another tool for taking input from user. So I have created this class. Now let's write our code. Do using the scanner class scanner.next line. So whatever the user is typing, whatever the user is giving input, using this method I can take that input and I will store that input inside this entered password variable. Now I have to check if entered password by user dot equals correct password not. So what I'm doing here, I'm checking if the password provided by user is not equal to. I'm using dot equals and I'm using this not symbol. So what it means not equal to. Dot equals plus this exclamation becomes not equal to means the password entered by user, if it is not equal to correct password, then I have to ask the user, I have to print incorrect password, please try again. So here I'm checking password entered by user with the correct password and I'm using this exclamation to perform a not operation. So it becomes if entered password not equal to correct password. If it is not equal to correct password, then I have to print incorrect password. Please try again. And also I want to keep running this loop till the user is not providing correct password. So same condition I can copy and paste it here. So if the entered password not equal to correct password, I want to keep running this loop. So this loop will keep on running till the user is providing incorrect password. And if the user is providing correct password, I can write below password correct, access granted. Okay. Now let's run this code and see what is happening. So if I run this code, mm, let's stop it. We have to print one statement here. Please enter password. So that user can see here. It is asking for password. Let's run now. So yeah, you can see, please enter password. Now suppose I am passing incorrect password. Our correct password is this. I am passing PASSWORD. So this is my password. See, incorrect password, please try again. It is asking for password again. I pass this password as input. This value will get stored into this variable entered password. So it will get stored. This scanner.next line will take this input which I am passing here. This value will be stored in entered password. Now if entered password not equal to correct password. So this is the correct password. Entered password not equal to correct password. We will get this statement printed. So I'm getting incorrect password. Please try again. And this condition will be checked here. This condition has become true. Entered password not equal to correct password. So this will become true. This loop will execute again. Suppose I am passing 123 as my password. Again 123 will be assigned to this entered password. Again it will be checked with this correct password. Again this condition is getting satisfied and we are getting incorrect password. Please try again. Again this while loop will be checked. So again this loop is becoming true. So again this statement is getting printed. Now let's enter the correct password. So the correct password is capital PASSWORD at the rate 123. See, once I enter the correct password, password correct, access granted. So if I enter the correct password, this value will be stored into this entered password. Entered password not equal to correct password. This will become false now. because this condition is getting false. Entered password not equal to correct password. Obviously, it is equal to correct password. So this is false statement. So this if block is not getting printed again while this condition will be checked. This condition will become false. Loop will get terminated. And finally, the flow of execution will come to this statement password correct, access granted. So this is how you can make use of do while loop. So no matter what, I want my code to execute once because I want the user to enter his password and I want this block to execute once because here only I'm writing the logic for asking user's password. So I want this block to execute at least once. So that is the scenario in which we can go for do while loop. So I hope it is clear. So that was all about do while loop, and for loop. We have seen different scenarios in which we can go for loop, while loop, and do while loop. If you know the exact number of iterations, it is recommended to use for loop. If you are not sure about the number of iterations, you can go for while loop. And if you want your code to execute at least one iteration, then you should go for do while loop. These are the different scenarios in which you can use different loops. So I hope it is clear. That was all for today's video. If you have any doubts, you can mention it in the comment section. Till then, see you in the next video. Thank you.